am your commercial real estate agent, former event wedding planner. And my goal is to help as many business owners get their brand and get their business out there and known. And so my way of doing that is hosting live interviews Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And if you're a business out there that is looking to talk about your business, talk about your brand, how you started, build awareness, and then you can use this as some content for your social media, why not? Send me a DM and let me know, and then we can schedule a time. So today I have here Miss Felicia, right?
Yes.
So I would love to have her introduce herself. She owns a company that is super unique, super niched, I don't think I've ever seen any other company, honestly, that does this. So I'm sure that there are, I just haven't seen them. And so I would love for you to take it from here and let us know what you do, your name, where can we find you?
Yes. Hello, all. My name is Felicia King. I am the owner of Go Take a Break, which is a luxury event childcare company. We provide childcare for weddings and corporate events here in locally in Atlanta, but also nationwide. You can find us. Our website is www.gotakeabreak.com. And you can find us on Instagram at luxury childcare. At luxury childcare.
Awesome.
Luxury event childcare, I'm sorry.
So tell me a little bit about when did you start this business?
2016. So a little bit of background information about me. I have been working with children straight out of college. So I was working with children out of college. And I knew I loved working with children. I started off as a toddler teacher and moved my way up within 5 years as the director of a daycare facility. So once I got there, I'm like, okay, I want to do more, but I don't want to work in a facility anymore. So I came up with this idea, but I didn't know how it would come across to the public because it was just so like, what? So what are you going to do now? You're going to go to the venue and take care of the children. But I was in a entrepreneur conference in 2016, and just so happened a woman brought her 2-year-old child there. And they literally sat maybe 2 seats away from me. And the speaker of the conference got onto the mic and said, "Mom, can you please take Junior out of here?" I love children. I work with children forever. And so it didn't bother me. It didn't bother anyone around us, but she had to leave. And I felt super bad for her. I actually followed her and I let her know who I was and what it is that I do. And I told her, I said, "I'll be right here outside the door if you wanted to go and finish the conference, the workshop." And she allowed me to. And me and a little boy, we just stayed there. We played a little bit. I had toys in my trunk. So I brought them in. And that was the confirmation that I needed that this is what I'm going to do. So that's how I got started.
That's awesome. I swear God that works in mysterious ways. He's be like,
Yeah,
this is it, and take it. Now wake up, open your eyes, and get going.
exactly. And that's exactly what I did.
So after you had that awakening, that calling of like, this is what I'm doing and this is where I'm going to take it, how long was the process of starting, right? Because a lot of times, sometimes we get an idea or we have a vision and then we prolong it, right? And then it takes longer than we need to than when it's really not necessary.
Right.
And sometimes we get a spark and we just zone in and we get it done and we're like, I just did it. So
Yeah.
what was that process like for you when you got that awakening?
So the process of starting the business, I was all in, zoned in, focused, ready to go. It was getting the clientele. It was getting the clients. It was getting the word out there. It literally took me a year, and I did get discouraged, but I kept going. It took me a year of marketing, going to wedding expos, and my website and all of those things, and handing out postcards and stuff, and just advertisement before I even got that first phone call. In which I did book. It was a wedding, And I still remember my first clients, even though it was 2016, I would be forever grateful to them. And then once that happened, the ball just started rolling from there. But it did take
Snowball.
1 year of just hitting the pavement before I even received my first yes.
That is the toughest part. That is the
Yes.
toughest part because you get so discouraged and you just don't even want to do it anymore. You wake up and you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Oh, I had many of those days. Like I did.
That's good. So, okay, now let's say now that you've, started your business, you're up and going, did
Mhm.
you encounter any other businesses in the same field where you felt that there was some type of competition, or did you feel like, can I learn from you, or how were they, if you've ever approached them in any way?
Yeah, so there is a handful of businesses that cater to the same clients that I do provide the same services, and I am lucky enough to know the owners or has at least spoken to them, and there's no competition there. I mean, we even refer business out to each other. If one of us is completely booked, I have done it plenty of times, and so have they done it to me as well, referred businesses to me as well. So bouncing ideas off each other, we've done that before. So because there's, we're such a small group, and the world is gigantic. There's no need for for competition within the niche that our services are.
Yeah, there's plenty of money to go around.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what would be some advice that you would give someone that is looking to start their own daycare facility that is mobile? Basically, it's a mobile service
hmm
of childcare. And what would be something that you would what would be a takeaway that you would want to give them?
What I would tell them is to make sure they get the back end of the business organized. And that is from making sure you get the correct insurance, your business bank accounts and all of that stuff. The easy part is providing the service. The
Hmm.
work it must be in the back end and making sure that you're budgeting wisely for these events. And yeah, I would just definitely make sure that their back end is organized and prepared. Providing the service is easy. As long as you love working with children, making sure that you have a team of childcare providers that are qualified, know the job. Personally, my team nationwide, I only hire individuals who have childcare experience or work in that field currently. And that just makes the parents feel safer and all of that good nature. But definitely make sure you're back in business and develop a very strong team.
Yeah. So where let me see. I had this question that popped up. What would you say, when you say back end? What
Yeah.
would be the most difficult part? What was the biggest challenge when it came to getting back end? Because I know sometimes getting licensing and permitting and, especially with children,
hmm
it can be challenging. And then you being in the experience, in the history of childcare,
Yeah.
right? It could be someone that has no history in childcare. So, do you
Yeah.
think that you having the history of childcare helped you, or was there a part of the process that was more challenging than another?
The history definitely helped me. With all my knowledge that I've learned from, like I said, being a toddler teacher all the way to being the director and knowing the business and the back end of it, it definitely helped me carry those skills over to my business. And when I say the back end, the most important part is getting your insurance and making sure you have the correct insurance. It is difficult to gain insurance for this type of business because we're not in one facility,
Mm,
so you have to make sure that your insurance provider understand that you are mobile and you are taking care of or providing childcare for different children in different locations. And that was the hard part of finding
okay.
a provider for that.
So I want to do one last question for the vendors that are looking, and then I want to talk
Mhm.
about client questions. So, vendor question would be: is there a group or basically contact that they can go to ask these questions? So, if I'm looking to start my business, do you and your friends have a group that I can join so that I can get these questions answered if I have, if I need guidance or maybe like a mentorship or something?
Yes, so we do have a Instagram chat room, sort of say. I am not I do not know the exact name of it because I wasn't the starter of it. But I can contact the owner and put that on our Instagram page. But yes, we do have a group and we answer each other questions all the time.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
anyone that's out there that's watching during the recordings, um, make sure you reach out and let her know that you want to inquire on possibly starting your own business. I know there's a lot of daycares that have employees that end up quitting because it's just taking care of a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Might not be something that they want to do, but taking care of a small group of kids might be more feasible for them.
Yeah.
And so I think that if they know their tolerance and their limits, that's
Hmm.
super important as a childcare giver. So I think that if anyone is looking to open up their own daycare business, that you guys contact her and then ask her all the questions before you start a business name and do all of this, because you want to make sure that this is going to be for you.
Yes, definitely. And I am open to consultation services for anyone who wants to step into this niche of a business. I'm definitely open to that.
That's awesome. So let's do some quick questions about for um, clients.
Okay.
If I'm a client
Hmm.
and I would like to use your service, what would be the best questions that I should ask you? What are some things that you feel that clients are not asking that they should?
Oh, that's a good question. Luckily, like the clients that come to us, they're asking amazing questions. But you will definitely want to ask about our experience. I do have clients who ask how many events have we done at this caliber. Also, you want to make sure that the company has insurance because the venue most likely will ask for the insurance for the childcare business. So you want to make sure that that's there. Um, as far as the contracts, so on the back end, we do have a service and terms agreement that every client is has to sign in order to get our services. So I would say thoroughly read all of that because then something may come up later that was already addressed in the contract. Um, so yeah, those are definitely the things that I would. And also, you can definitely ask how many childcare providers will you provide per child? You know, what is the ratio, child to provider ratio?
Yeah. So with that being said, what would be a child to provider ratio? From my understandings, it's 5 or 8 per adult. Has
Yeah.
that changed?
That is definitely what it is in the childcare facility. And it also depends on the age of the children. From infants, I know in the childcare facility, this was years ago, but it was like maybe 5 to 1 teacher. And so that's not how we do it here. So with Go Tab Luxury Event Childcare, our ratios are much smaller. So for each infant, we do have an infant specialist that is 101. And then from there, from there, like the 1 and 2 year olds and things of that nature, the sitter is never by themselves. Let's just put it that way. We've always we overstaff. And the ratios, like I said, are so much smaller. With infants, is one child care provider for an infant, and then it just depends on the age of the children after that.
Okay. And so if I'm a client, again, going
Mhm.
back, if I'm a client and I would like to know all do you provide? Do
Yeah.
you provide toys? What kind of toys? And um, what would be your disciplinary action when it comes to kids behaving bad, or maybe they're just not listening whatsoever, or possibly a child with any type of special needs,
Yeah.
um, services? How do you go about that?
So So let's just start with the what we provide as far as our services. So we do provide age appropriate games, toys, activities. We can do indoor field trips as well. For my particular company, we do not go off site um, to do field trips or anything like that. Everything is in house. Everyone has to come inside of the venue to, if there's a magician or anything like that, they have to come to us. And that's just for, it goes back to the insurance and also safety protocol.
Okay.
Um, so everything is age appropriate for everything that we provide. We provide snacks and things of that nature that's complimentary to the children. And the second part of your question, what was the second part? I believe it was I'm sorry. I'm like, I remember it, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
um, you threw me for a loop there. So I'm gonna have to go back to the recordings and find out what I said.
It's Monday. It's okay. But it is okay. Well, we do provide age
Oh,
appropriate games and things of that
I
nature.
remember. Children with special needs. How do you
Gotcha.
manage that situation?
Okay, so as far as special needs, that is um, a touchy subject. So for myself, I am a registered behavior technician. So I do also work with children on the spectrum, and we have a number of childcare providers that are RVTs that work with children with special needs. So if we can accommodate, we will. But for the safety of the children and the staff, if there's a child who has a special need that's outside of our skill set,
Hmm.
we will ask the parent to bring in a caregiver specifically for them, just so that they can still participate into with the activities and things of that nature. But we know that this particular caregiver is special for this particular child.
Okay.
So we don't want to exclude anyone. We just ask that the parents bring in their child care provider that they use for that
Okay.
child.
Okay, that makes sense. And so, is there anything that you would like to share with any clients, any future clients that you've maybe had on your mind that you've wished that they would know or understand that they haven't or that they don't, just because they just don't know?
Um, our services is very unique. So with that being said, I don't like to talk about pricing too much, but for clients to understand that because this is a mobile childcare facility, childcare service, that there's a lot that goes on in the back end. So, and that is structured into our pricing. And I've spoken with some of my other colleagues that's in this industry to where the clients just don't understand what they are paying for. So when you are booking a service like that, you're paying for its convenience. You're paying for the back end planning that we do. We do a lot of planning for these events that I don't think that the clients know about. They just see childcare providers there and like, okay, you're babysitters. These are qualified, experienced childcare providers that love children, and this is something that they do um, on the side because most of them have full time jobs.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of planning that goes on. There's a lot of back and forth that we have to communicate with the venue, with your wedding planner, with your event manager, whatever that is. And so you're paying for that as well as the experience. So I've had clients tell me, well, we could just go to such and such and just get like a random babysitter. I have had clients who has done that before, and they
Hmm.
come right back to us and say, I am so sorry. We should have stuck with you guys because we understand now that it's a difference between just getting, individual providers and
A babysitter.
contrast to getting a actual service that provides this type of childcare
Yeah,
is
it's
very
more
different.
it's more children entertainment, right? It's
Yes,
more children entertainment opposed to babysitting because usually
exactly.
babysitting they just let them do their thing and they're just there to
Yeah.
watch them. however you guys do entertainment, you guys bring toys, you guys bring video games, you guys bring, entertainment to the kids so that they can stay busy and
Yeah,
occupied and not be on their phone or bored. And they can say
exactly.
also, wow, that was such a great event. I didn't know I was going to a wedding for kids to play, like, instead of running around. My days, we just run around everywhere and nobody said
Oh,
anything.
if it's a wedding, we are partying. I've had parents come in there like, we're going to stay in here because we had events where we bring in DJs and we have like our flashlights and it's a whole vibe. Okay,
That's
so
fun.
yeah.
That's awesome. So I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for all that you've shared with us today. I would love to help you or any of your other colleagues do another interview or
Mhm.
interview with them if they're needed, if they would like.
Okay.
And again, as a commercial real estate agent, if you're ever looking for a space, if you're ever looking to maybe utilize a location like as an office and maybe a display for people, I can always work with you on that as well.
Okay.
um, and if you can share this with everyone so that
Mhm.
everyone can get out there and talk about their business as well, I would appreciate it and I would be
Of
so grateful
course.
for it. And with that being said, how can everyone find you again? And what would be the best way to communicate with you?
Yes. So, as far as our website is www.gotakeabreak.com, spelled out exactly how it sounds. You can give us a call at 678-879-6163, or you can find us on Instagram at Luxury Event Childcare.
Awesome. So I will let you go.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, and I will catch you on social media.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for taking it.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye bye.